Okay, continuing.
Orly Tates, a Los Angeles-based lawyer who grew up in the Soviet Union, represented Alan Keyes in his lawsuit against Obama and has filed numerous other cases denying the president's eligibility.
We can have him out of office within 30 days.
The cases continued to be dismissed, and one judge fined her $20,000, noting, unlike in Alice in Wonderland, simply saying something does not make it so.
Oh, that's funny, Chris Matthews. Simply saying something is what you've been doing this whole documentary, or hit piece. It's not even a documentary. You've left out so much information. And for a judge to say that the president doesn't have to fully prove that he's an American citizen when millions upon millions of Americans want to know, and they're still unsatisfied, and they're unsatisfied because he hasn't produced a long-form birth certificate. And just recently it came out that he had a Social Security number in Connecticut. I mean, okay, his name's Barack Obama. He's got another name, Barry Soetoro. His grandma's on video saying she was in Kenya when he was born. Alan Keyes told him in a debate he wasn't born here. He said, so what, I'm not running for president. And for a judge to say that's frivolous, another corrupt judge, just like 99% of the judges in this country.
When I see judges coming with such decisions, it's an embarrassment to the judicial system of this nation, that instead of seeing actual document,
it is embarrassing,
birth certificate for baby Barack Hussein Obama from Hawaii, we are just offhand dismissing these cases as frivolous. There's nothing frivolous about it.
Part of the birth
There is nothing frivolous about it.
His MO is repeating Obama's middle name, Hussein, to make a less than subtle connection to America's old enemy, Iraqi dictator Saddam Hussein. There's also
his middle name is Hussein, and if you say it, why can't you say it? Again, you're trying to say certain speech should be limited, Chris Matthews. His name is Barack Hussein Obama. He calls himself that sometimes. Many mainstream Republican neocons have called him that. It's politics. It's not the Patriots' MO. Real patriots call him Barry Soetoro because I guess that's his real name. And he also used it when he called into a Washington, D.C. radio show. You might have missed that one, too.
The visible evidence at rally after rally of a deep antipathy toward the person of Barack Obama. It's a fact that our first African-American...
Again, all these same things were said about George Bush for the most part. So, you know, again, you ain't covering that, Chris.
The president is facing unprecedented questions about his very Americanness.
There's some folks who just weren't sure whether I was born in the United States, whether I was a socialist, right? So there's that segment of it, which I think is just dug in ideologically, and that strain has existed in American politics for a long time.
While not embracing the birthers, many conservative leaders refuse to separate from them. Do you think that the people who have raised the issue of Barack Obama's citizenship have a real case or not?
There's a venue for that. It's probably in the courts.
Former Republican Congressman and House Majority Leader Dick Armey has become one of the more well-known faces of the Tea Party movement. No longer in office, Armey is now the chairman of Freedom Works, a conservative advocacy group that trains and organizes Tea Party activists across the country. Well, let me read you something you said. Nearly every important office in Washington, D.C. today is occupied by someone with an aggressive dislike of our heritage, our freedom, our history, and our Constitution.
I believe that's true.
Oh, that's about 100% accurate statement there, Chris Matthews. Why you got that stupid look on your face, as if that's not true? Show me someone other than Ron Paul that's 100% constitutional patriot. Show me somebody, Chris Matthews, and get that stupid look off your face.
It is not just an unawareness of the genius of the Constitution. It's a dislike of this Constitution.
So are you talking about members of Congress?
I'm talking about members of Congress. I'm talking about people in the White House, throughout the White House, beginning with the president.
Again, that's accurate too. They dislike the Constitution. They don't want us to have individual freedoms. They don't want us to own private property. They don't want us to be armed because then they could really have their way with us. Chris Matthews knows this. I mean, he knows this. He can't be that stupid.
President. I don't believe the President of the United States knows and respects and appreciates the Constitution of the United States.
A strong statement given that Obama dedicated himself to constitutional law at the University of Chicago.
Then why doesn't he follow the Constitution? Healthcare bill is unconstitutional. Bailouts are unconstitutional. Illegal wars are unconstitutional. Undeclared wars are unconstitutional. I mean, I could sit here and go on, but you get the gist of it. If he's a constitutional lawyer, why don't he show his birth certificate so he can show us that he's in compliance with the 22nd Amendment? Why doesn't he end the illegal wars that Bush started? Why would he try to pass an unconstitutional health care bill? Why would he sign an unconstitutional bailout? And so on and so on.
But it's a consistent drumbeat on the new right. Politicians, this president especially, don't respect our Constitution. I think
they don't respect our Constitution, Chris Matthews. And you could be shown a million examples, but I guess whoever's paying you or feeding you whatever you're supposed to be spewing out your mouth, which is basically diarrhea, how do you not know that? Who follows the Constitution in our White House or our Congress? I mean, outside of Ron Paul and a handful of other people. Tell me who. Give me the list. And I'll give you a list of things they do that are unconstitutional and things they voted for that are unconstitutional, Chris Matthews. Your argument is crap, to put it lightly.
Members of Congress ought to have to read major bills.
Wow.
But I'd be just as happy if some of them read this a little more often. The Constitution of the United States of America.
But can all this anger on the right translate into a real political force? Coming up, the Tea Party fights to be a political contender.
We need to send a loud and clear message that they need to put up candidates that actually represent conservatism.
Okay, I'll be right back. Stay there.